Hey guys, it's Sora here, and welcome back to another video. So it's been a while since I've done a deck profile on this channel, so I thought I'll do one for you guys for an up-to-date list of what I'm playing, and I think this is a really fun deck, so if you do want to go ahead and try out this deck, that is my hopes for this video. So first of all, I want to apologize for the awful camera quality. I can't help it, it's my laptop webcam, and I can't really find anything better at the minute. But you're just going to have to bear with me. So because of how strange this deck plays, what I thought I'll do is I'll do the quick deck profile at the start, so now, and then I'll go into alternative replacements for some of the cards, depending on what your preferred playstyle is, as well as how to actually play the deck towards the end of the video. So anyway, let's get started with the deck profile, beginning with the Mikanko cards. We're playing 3 copies of Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko. You have to play this. 2 Harays, the red one, and 1 Huri, the green one. Moving on to Mikanko spells, we got Water Arabesque at 3, 2 Ceremonies, and then 1 copy each of Reflection Rondo, Fire Dance, and Mayowa Shidori. And then finishing off the Mikanko cards, we got 1 copy of Mikanko Rivalry, 1 copy of Mikanko Spirit Walk, as well as the accompanying equips, 1 Snatch Steal and 1 Axe of Fools. Moving on to the Sky Striker package, we got 2 Engage, 3 Widow Anchors, and then 1 copy each of Jamming Waves, Shark Cannon, Afterburners, and Hornet Drones, as well as 1 Ray. And then moving on to the non-injured support cards, we got 3 Preparation of Rites, 1 Illusion, and the Magician's Soul for the Illusion to Search. We're also then playing 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Moving on to the non-engine, we're playing 3 Nib, 3 Evenly, and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. And that rounds out the main deck. 41 cards. And moving on to the extra, we got 2 copies of Sky Striker Ace Kagari, 2 Shizuku, 1 Hayate, 1 ZK, and 1 Azalea. Alright, moving on, we're playing 3 Charmers, Dark, Wind, and Hita. And then for the generic extra deck stuff, we're playing IP, Unicorn, Avramax, Moral Sword, and Access Code. And then finishing up the quick deck profile here, we got 3 Drolls in the side, 3 Golems, 2 Gamma Seal, 3 Trap Trick, 2 Daruma Cannons, and 2 Dimensional Barriers. And that is the deck profile. So first of all, I want to talk about the extra deck real quick. The extra deck is not really that necessary. What it does do is it helps you link climb into these 2 guys, to Moral Sword and Access Code, to help you kill your opponent. That's pretty much the main bulk of what the extra deck does. The other thing that the extra deck is good for is making IP. What this allows you to do is set up a turn 3 play where after you blind second break the board and you didn't manage to kill them, you make an IP, and with Ohime on board, you can flip Rivalry to Snatch Steal something on their board, or use Reflection Rondo, IP it away, and then now you have the equip spell Engrave for you to Ohime Snatch Steal under the monster. So IP probably the most crucial card, to be honest, that comes out the most often. The OTK cards are obviously also good. Avramax is a situational call. Personally, I think you should play Apo instead, but for now I'm playing Avramax. And then Unicorn is an IP target. If you just have to make IP plus some other monster, you can Unicorn for a spin. And then the Charmers are obviously opponent dependent. I'm playing Dark Light and... sorry, I said Wind and Leprechaun. I meant Liner. I'm playing Dark Light and Fire. Fire is self-explanatory. Snake Eyes, Fire King, or Eat This. You can also summon Ash, which is a very common hand trap right now. The other one you can consider is actually the Wind Charmer, because you can make Hayate and then make the Wind Charmer that way, and then bring back the Baron, which is also always quite funny. And then in terms of the Sky Striker stuff, I'm a bit lost on the Link 2s, to be honest. I don't know how to feel about the Link 2s. This, as a layer, is 100% getting 100% getting replaced by Camellia when Camellia comes out. But ZK, I think you can still play ZK, but if you have SP, play SP over ZK. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say about the extra deck. Now let's talk about the main deck. So for the non-engine, personally I like Nib more than Droll, but they're sort of interchangeable. I really like Evenly and Duster because this deck really struggles to clear back row if you don't play this. Duster should really be a Lightning Storm. I don't have a Lightning Storm, so I'm playing Duster instead. But if you have Lightning Storm, play that over Duster. And I would also recommend sticking to Board Breakers and not play 1-for-1 hand traps like Ash. When you're not playing enough of them, so like I'm only slotting 7 non-engine here. 7 hand traps, in my opinion, is not enough to consistently draw 2 to try to actually stop your opponent. So playing Ash, Veiler, Imperm is not that impactful most of the time. So that's why I would run Board Breakers like I am right now, and bigger hand traps like Droll Nibiru or Dim Shifter if you're really like brave, instead of 1-for-1 hand traps like Ash. And then just to talk over, I don't think there's much to say about these cards. These cards are all just searchers. Rota gets you Hare or Ray. The only thing I'll note about Rota is you can play Crusadia Arborea as a level 3 tuner that you can search. This lets you put Shen Shen in the extra deck, which is sort of good against Snake Eye. But it's kind of gimmicky and I don't recommend it, but I have tried it. I've also tried playing VW and I've also tried playing the Punk engine with free E-Tally. So that's the things I've tried. Ray is not mandatory here. I like playing Ray because I have her in ulti, but to be honest, Ray doesn't come up that much. You can either cut her for nothing and just play 40, or you can play an extra Shark Cannon or an extra battle removal, like an extra Lightning Storm or something. In terms of the striker lineup, you absolutely want to play Hornet Drones. This card baits out so much stuff. It's insane. Right? This card is actually kind of insane. It helps you link climb and it summons stuff. There is a reason why this card is still out 1. Okay, this card is actually really good. Don't let its simplicity fool you. This is absolutely a great card, and I would 100% play this if you're gonna play any of the Sky Striker stuff at all. Now, Afterburner jamming waves is debatable. Some people don't like to play these because they're not that good, to be honest. I like playing it because both of these cards give me battle removal. And once again, this deck really struggles if your opponent is playing back row. So being able to at least bait out the back row early is really good. That's why I play these. And they're all searchable, so it's not too bad. And worst case scenario, you just side them out if your opponent has nothing for you to actually hit. If they don't play any back row at all, then you don't need to play these. And then Shark Cannon is going to be a controversial one. I'm playing it at 1. I know most people would disagree and play this at 2 or 3. I disagree with them. I think drawing this card is really bad. That's why I'm only playing 1 to search. In my opinion, if you're playing against Snake Eyes, you draw 2 Shark Cannon, you just lose. Because the rest of your hand doesn't do anything. Right? You banish the Prom, you banish the Garunix or Ponix or whatever. That's it. It doesn't do anything, right? That's the problem. So I play 1 to search, and that's it. Don't want to be really seeing this in your opening hand. But it does come up sometimes clutch against things like Prom Princess or whatever. And then Free Widow Anchor, the second best reason, in my opinion, for you to be playing Sky Striker stuff, this card is nuts. Especially, of course, when you manage to dump 3 spells in grave before resolving it. Taking a monster is one of the strongest forms of removal in Yu-Gi-Oh! And being able to play 3 of these and then not once per turn is crazy. And then, of course, you play as many engages as you can. If it comes to free, definitely play free engages. Not much to say there. It's a pot of greed half the time, and yeah. Now, let's talk about the equip spell lineup. I'm only playing Snatch Steel Axe of Fools. The other card you could play is Angelica's Ring. I tried Angelica's Ring. It didn't really come up that often. It's nice if your opponent is playing like ancient board removal. Things like droplets and they don't have a trap in hand, or Dart Ruler, you can out by having Angelica's Ring. But because nobody is playing those ball breakers really nowadays, I don't. But if your locals have a lot of people playing Dart Ruler and droplets, absolutely add Angelica's Ring in. I'll say probably cut the Ray for Angelica's Ring if you're going to play it. And the reason why you play Axe of Fools is to negate unsummon effects. Snatch Steal and Reflection Rondo stealing your opponent's monster is cool and all, but it doesn't stop unsummon effects. So you use this if you really badly want to negate a unsummon effect. Both of these cards are not bad to draw going second anyway, because they bait out a removal or bait out a negate. So that's why I'm playing these and not Angelica's Ring. Angelica's Ring doesn't do anything if you just draw it going second, but these do. So they're not really bricks even if you draw them, so it makes them pretty good. Trap lineup. This also has to do with how many Mikanko main decks you're playing. You can play the third trap, Mikanko Promise. Mikanko Promise is good, but it requires you play blue, which is a brick. Blue doesn't do anything. Blue is literally just there so you can summon it off of the trap, or end on blue so it's a take. That's why I'm not playing Promise. Promise is also the only trap that doesn't have a graveyard effect. This one adds back an equip. This one summons a banished Mikanko, which comes up because when you summon a monster back from grave, with the green equip, they get banished when they leave the field. So you can do something funny like green effect, summon this back, effect, add Spirit Walk, pitch it somehow with like souls or something, link off the green, and then bring it back with Spirit Walk because it's banished now. Right, so that's a funny play you can do. But you do not play blue if you do not want to also play Promise, and vice versa. The other equips, I don't think anybody would really argue with this ratio. One of each is fine. You can potentially play two if you don't have Snatch Steal for some reason. Purification Dance just feels really bad to me. I don't like it, so I'm not playing it, but you can play Purification Dance. For those of you who didn't know, the Purification Dance is the second fire equip, and it bounces one of your monsters and one of your opponent's monsters when your opponent special summons. I think that's really gimmicky, so I don't play it. But you can. And then Ceremony, you can play this at 2 or 3. I wouldn't play this at 1. Arabesque, you auto free of it just gets rid of a monster and goes +1, which is insane. So you always play this card. If you can't get access to both red and green, it's normally better to go for green to set up for next turn, unless you can kill with red somehow. Alright, and then rounding up the main deck, we have Friohime, non-negotiable. You have to play this. It searches anything in the deck. It's also a quick equip, which is powerful when you have Reflection Rondo or Snatch Steal Engrave. So, wrapping up the explanation, let's just talk about the side deck real quick. I'll recommend either taking out Dimensional Barrier or the Rumor Cannon in favor of DDG. I do not have 2 DDG at the minute, otherwise I will be playing it. Why I play the Trap Trick thing is nobody expects you to go first with this deck because they see you go blind second, and they won't expect you to call first, right? If you lose, you can go call first, side like 8. Sorry, not side 8, side 7. And this is like really powerful if you draw any of these traps, right? DDG specifically can just stop somebody from playing usually, which is very powerful. And then for the board breakers, we're playing 3 Lava Golem, 2 Gamma Seal. Now, some of you may be wondering, why am I playing Lava Golem, not Sphere Mode? People have started playing around Sphere Mode. They're ending on 2 monsters, so that's the main reason. The other reason is, it doesn't matter that the Lava Golems are free. Red, sorry. This deck does not commit to a monster play very early on. So you don't even trigger Prom Princess, even though you give them the Lava Golem. And you can do a really cute play where you give them the Lava Golem by tributing over 2, and then arabesquing it back, and then Lava Goleming them again. And you really don't care too much about your normal summon in this deck usually, so the restriction of Lava Golem is also fine. If you really don't want to, then just play Spheres or play more Kaijus, but I recommend playing Lava Golem because it goes with 2. And 2 is a pretty good number right now on against a lot of end wards. And then, of course, Droll, I think, is just insane in this current format. I think it's really good. Only side it in, of course, if the matchup demands it. Now, how does this deck play? This deck is not a combo deck, okay? I want to preface this now, okay? These are effectively your 1-card starters. Ohime searches Ceremony to summon itself. Ceremony can then dump any Mikanko cards you're missing. If you're just going for the 1-card, then you go Ohime, search Ceremony, pitch something else. Ceremony, summon Ohime, and then banish Ceremony from grave to drop a Reflection Rondo in grave. This gives Ohime a quick take on demand. Arabesque is just removal plus access to the little guys, the level 3s. Usually how Mikanko hands typically look is you either get Ohime plus any like Mikanko card, then in that scenario you get full combo. You get both the Ohime plays and the rest of the plays. Okay? Say if you drew like Ohime Arabesque, that's like access to everything, right? Because you can Ohime for Ceremony, or Ohime for one of the monsters. Probably for Ceremony, because you want to summon Ohime. So you go Ohime, search Ceremony, summon Ohime, banish, and then banish green or banish, send green or red, doesn't matter. And then you can Arabesque another monster on field, either your own Magician's Souls usually, or one of your opponent's monsters. Remember, this is a blind second, so the chance of your opponent having a monster is pretty high. So you go Arabesque, equip, bounce something, get your guy on board, and then you go Hare, add the green, and then you can link off the Hare to put the green in grave to reborn the green monster. That's basically the gist of the link climb combo. It essentially just involves Ceremony, Arabesque, Hare, and the green equip. If you already see like a lot of these cards, you can also add Fire Dance. If you drew literally everything, then you can add one of the traps. I wouldn't normally recommend adding one of the traps, but if you drew everything else, then you might as well. This is off of Ohime for clarification. Off of the Trap Searcher, Hoodie, I recommend searching Rivalry over Spirit Walk. There isn't really too much to say about the rest of the deck, as the Scout Striker stuff I think is pretty self-explanatory. But honestly, this is a deck where you just sort of have to stop playing it for a while to understand it. There's no real like standardized combo line, there's no 1-card combos, there's no like generic OTK line, it's all situation dependent. Remember that you are playing Borrelsword in this list, so anytime you make a 2k or higher body that can be position switched, usually your opponent's monster this will be, you can kill with Borrelsword. Otherwise, go Access, and a cool little play you can do that involves Mikanko cards is any Mikanko plus Mayo Shirori means you can go swing the Mikanko monster, do the Battle Reflection gimmick that all Mikankos have, and then after the damage step, use the green equip to bounce that monster, so your big guys can attack directly, right? This means anytime they have a 2k or higher monster, it makes Borrelsword an OTK. Anytime they have a 2700 attack or more guy that you made access code with a link free with, that's also an OTK. Otherwise, if you can't kill them, just evenly match them or something and set up the grind game. Usually looks something like a set Mikanko trap plus the green one with an equip, and then plus Ohime with like Rondo engrave or Snatch Steal engrave, something like that. So you end up getting like 2 steals, and that's usually enough to kill a simplified game state from your opponent. That's all I wanted to say. I went a bit over time there, and my throat is starting to die. But I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck if you do decide to try to play it. And stay safe, guys. Bye.